Hey everybody, Paul here with Pretty Good Golf, and in this video I am reviewing two new drivers. I have the Titleist GT1 and I have the Srixon ZXi Max, or ZXi Max if you're in the States. Now both of these drivers are geared towards forgiveness and launch, but they do it in slightly different ways. So I'm going to test it out, see which is the best for the average golfer like myself. And so, like I said, both of these drivers are built for forgiveness and launch in mind. They do it a little bit differently. The Srixon has this long rail on the bottom that provides a bit of weight that's pushed back. That's going to give us a higher MOI, a bit more launch, and a bit more forgiveness, whereas the Titleist GT1 is a bit more of a traditional shape. There's no long rail on the back, and what they've done is they've added some weight savings to the head that's going to hopefully allow us to swing the club faster and translate into a bit more ball speed and a bit more distance. And it is also geared towards the mid-handicap driver like myself. So let's see if I can break the 110 mile an hour swing speed barrier with this light Titleist GT1. We're gonna put that up first. Okay, like I said, Titleist GT1 is up first. I have it set at 10 degrees. It's a 10-degree head at 10 degrees, and I am using the Ventus 6S. It's the Ventus Black 6S shaft, so I'll be using that in both clubs, and I'm going to be hitting the Titleist Pro V1 golf ball with both clubs. So I'm gonna hit 10 good shots with each club, no matter how many swings that takes. I will tell you at the end, and then at the very end we'll go through the data and we will look at all of the shots kept in so we can see all my mishits, and then I'm going to remove the really bad ones, and we're just going to keep the 10 representative shots in there so that we can get a better sample and not have my lack of skill get in the way of testing out these clubs properly. So here we go, 10 good shots with the Titleist GT1. Oh, that did launch high, but that was 154 miles an hour ball speed. It carried 254 yards. I hit that in the center of the club, but it did spin up quite a bit for me. That was over 3,000 RPMs of backspin on that first shot, but really good strike. That felt a lot more heely, but I still got 152 miles an hour ball speed, but it spun up to about 3,700 RPMs of backspin, which really kept the distance down. But 109 miles an hour of club speed, maybe that lighter head is giving me a bit more speed there. That felt a bit better. I think that was closer to the toe, but it still spun way up. 3,800 RPMs of backspin. That was 16 degrees of launch. So it's doing what it's supposed to do. It launched high, kept it right down the middle of the fairway, but really only went 246 yards carried, 261 total. That was low on the face, but that's going to be in the fairway for sure. To 152 miles an hour of ball speed, but only 236 carry, and that's because it spun up over 4,000 RPMs of backspin. Really low on the face, you can see that. Probably right above me, that red dot on the club is going to be all the way at the bottom of the driver head. But I did notice there, 110 miles an hour of club speed. That is a personal best for me. Okay, interesting. A little more right to left ball flight on that one. 155 miles an hour ball speed. 15 degrees launch, so it launched high. But we only got 253 yards of carry, probably because of that 3,000 RPMs of backspin, 270 total. That felt like it was off the heel, so it's gonna spin up over 4,000 RPMs of backspin, right down the middle, but only 234 yards of carry. At 110 miles an hour swing speed, that's not ideal, but at least it's in the fairway. That's probably not it. That spun up to 4,700 RPMs of backspin. Again, over 15 degrees of launch, so that is high launching. Probably gonna still find the fairway though, maybe about, only 22 yards offline, which with my driver and those launch conditions, I think that would have been a little further to the right, but 111 miles an hour club speed. Lighter club, I can definitely swing that faster. That felt more middled. 259 yards of carry, so that's the best so far, I think, in terms of carry. Still 3,100 RPMs of backspin. 110 miles an hour of club speed again, so really getting it out there for speed, but that spin is killing the distance a bit. Maybe a little towier, but that's okay. 247 yards of carry, pretty much right down the middle, 151 miles an hour ball speed, 3,300 RPMs of backspin. Okay, that should be in. Had a couple of bad shots in there that went hard left, so 12 shots to get 10 good ones. That was 110 miles an hour of club speed again, so really good swing speed with this Titleist GT1. But even though it was just a fraction low in the face, and it was towy, but it still spun up quite a bit. And that really could be partly because this is designed for people with a bit slower club head speeds. I'd say I'm maybe on the high end of average now that I have been doing the staff program, but still nice to see that most of my drives, 10 out of the 12, were in the fairway and actually pretty reasonably tight dispersion. So that is a plus for the GT1. It definitely was forgiving, although it spun a lot for my club delivery and swing speed. Okay, so next up is the Srixon ZXi Max, or ZXi Max in the States, and this one is also a forgiving driver. It is a bit more draw biased from what I've heard, so I'm a little worried that I might hit some off to the left. We shall see. It's at 10 degrees, it's a 10.5 degree head, but I have it lofted down to 10 degrees, and we've got the Ventus Black 6S shaft, just like the GT1. Let's compare apples to apples and see which is the best forgiving driver for the average golfer. All right, so this is a little bit less of a shiny crown, and I do kind of like that there is a marker on the top of the club that's gonna help me find the middle of the face when I line it up. The Titleist didn't have that, and I feel like for me, it's just a nice little thing to keep me confident when I'm standing over the ball here. Well, that was okay. A little bit lower launch. That was only 9.5 degrees of launch, 152 miles an hour of ball speed. But we ended up at 265 yards total. It carried 246 right down the middle. I didn't get any club data on there. I need some dots. Okay, so we were missing the club data on that one. I've got some dots on here now. Let's see how this is going for swing speed and delivery. That felt really well struck. That was 257 yards of carry, 154 miles an hour ball speed at 3,000 RPMs of backspin, so similar to the GT1, maybe a tiny bit less spinny so far. 108 miles an hour of club speed and lower launch, 13 degrees of launch. Okay, that was pretty good. Down the middle, 154 miles an hour ball speed, 248 yards of carry. I think it was low on the face again, so it did get a bit more spin. We had 3,500 RPMs of backspin on that one. Okay, that was good too. 151 miles an hour of ball speed, 244 yards of carry, again spun up to 3,500 RPMs of backspin, so we didn't quite get as much carry or rollout as I would hope. Okay, we're peeling off a little bit, but that might stay in the fairway. 150 miles an hour ball speed, 234 yards of carry, just really spinny. I hit it low on the face again, so that's gonna be over 3,500 RPMs of backspin. Marginally better. 152 miles an hour ball speed, 240 carry, still 3,800 RPMs of backspin on that one. Yeah, I got one going left. That's okay. 155 miles an hour ball speed, 253 carry, 2,900 RPMs of backspin, still low in the face. I'm gonna try and move that strike up a bit, see if we can get the spin down. All right, after a few misses, that one's gonna be close enough. 254 yards of carry, 16 degrees launch. I got it higher in the face on the strike. So our spin came down, but we still have 3,000 RPMs of backspin. All right, that's off the toe, but 18.5 degrees launch. There's the high launch we're looking for, or I don't know if we need that much, but 248 yards of carry, high in the face. Hopefully that meant lower spin. Still 3,000 RPMs of backspin. I don't know that I'm gonna get lower than that with this head. Okay, that's coming back. That was probably off the heel, but still not bad. 242 yards of carry, 3,200 RPMs of backspin, 148 miles an hour ball speed, only 106 club speed that time. That's more what I'm used to seeing for myself, whereas the GT1 I was getting like 109, 110. All right, there we have it, the Srixon ZXi Max. That took me 15 shots to get 10 good ones. I don't really blame the club, that's going to be more on me, but let's have a look at the data with all shots kept, and then we'll look at the 10 representative shots after that. Okay, so we're going to compare the Titleist GT1, the Srixon ZXi Max, with all shots kept at first. So this includes my lack of skill, I should say. We can see that the Srixon had a larger dispersion circle with my 15 shots to get 10 good ones. The Titleist only took me 12 shots to get 10 good ones, and you can see that's represented more also in that smaller dispersion circle there in the red. We did see higher club head speed in the Titleist GT1 translate to slightly higher ball speed as well. So we had 154 miles an hour ball speed with the GT1 and only 152 with the Srixon. Both of them were pretty spinny for me, around 3,500 RPMs of backspin on average. And overall, I had a little more carry with the Titleist and a little more overall yardage with the Titleist, but still a bit lower than I'm used to seeing, and that is mostly because of that high spin there. So let's remove some of those mishits, and I'll give you 10 representative shots to really compare the equipment here and take my swing out of the equation a bit. All right, now with the 10 representative shots, we can see a pretty similar story with both drivers. We had a similar dispersion circle where I had a little bit of left miss, a little bit of right miss, more right miss with the Srixon for some reason. It is supposed to be a draw biased driver more, so I was surprised to see a few more kind of fade out to the right side. But now we can look at ball speed a little bit better with those mishits removed. The Titleist was still higher ball speed, 153 versus 152, but it did spin quite a bit more than the Srixon. And so when we look at more ball speed with the Titleist, it had actually less carry because of that higher spin quite likely, and then it rolled out only to 262. Again, I'm gonna say that that's related to that high spin number. However, it only took me 12 shots to get the 10 good ones, and it was a pretty tight grouping on the Titleist for me anyways. If we look at the club data, we can see the story told here in the swing speed. This is my average across 10 swings. 110 is my personal best for swing speed, so that lighter head in the Titleist GT1 really was helping me get the club moving faster and then higher ball speed because of that. Still decent 108 swing speed, that's really good for me with the Srixon, so not too shabby there. We can see similar dynamic loft. I had both of these heads at 10 degrees of loft, and they were launching quite high, and that's what they're designed to do. And my swing path for both of them was a bit of a fade swing. You can see it starts outside and goes in. That's this -4 and -3.6 number. That's not too bad. It is a bit of a, my driver swing is a bit of a fade swing. And maybe contributing to that high spin in the Titleist, we have my strike point for both of these was quite low. That's just on me, but if your miss is low, and you're using these drivers, my hunch is that you're gonna see some really high spin. You're gonna probably hit the fairway, but you might not get it out there quite so far as with other drivers. And we can see that here if we add my gamer. This is the 2024 Callaway AI Smoke. And this is why I was fit into that driver. I had much lower spin, I got higher ball speed, and it equated to 275 yards of carry, 298 total. This was about 4 shots for me. That's the furthest I've ever hit a ball, so that's saying that my swing is pretty good right now. I just couldn't quite make these Titleist GT1 and the Srixon ZXi Max work. So bringing it back here with these two, there's really not much in it for these numbers. The only thing I could say is that I found the Titleist a little bit easier to hit, so it only took me 12 shots to get the 10 good ones, whereas the Srixon took me 15. Still, you should test them both. They're gonna be both forgiving, a little higher spinning. If you can find the middle of the face, that should drop down a bit, but you should be able to find that fairway nicely with both of those. So there you have it. That was the Titleist GT1 and the Srixon ZXi Max, or ZXi Max if you're in the States. If I had to choose between them, for me, the GT1 was a little bit easier to keep on the fairway. I had only 12 shots to get 10 good ones. The Srixon took me 15 shots to get 10 good ones. And if swing speed is a struggle for you and you're looking for a little bit more speed, that GT1 did help me pick up a couple of miles an hour of swing speed, which equated to about 1.5 miles on ball speed. So at least for me in this test, the GT1 would get the slight advantage over the Srixon ZXi Max, and that's just because it was easier to hit. So thank you for watching. If you liked this or found it useful, please subscribe and please comment. I love chatting about this stuff. Let me know if you thought that I was right about the GT1 being slightly better, or if maybe you've hit them. Let me know your experience. Anyway, thank you again, and we'll see you in the next video.